Hello world, George Filip here. It is very often the case that people hear or read false information in TV or the internet, and then they tell their friends, who in turn tell their friends. And in the end, there's a whole bunch of people believing something wrong. To make this world a slightly better place, I will go through some common misconceptions that people believe. Starting with one of the most widespread. People only use 10% of their brains. That is just wrong. While scientists don't know exactly what each part of the brain does, they know this. All of the brain matters. This misconception first appeared in the early 20th century, when it was apparently used metaphorically by William James, who, by the way, was the first educator to offer psychology as a course. Ostriches hide their heads in the sand to hide from enemies. Wrong, and you have Pliny the Elder to blame for that one. In the 1st century AD he wrote, "Ostriches imagine when they have thrust their head and neck into a bush, that the whole of their body is concealed." So that ruins half of the metaphors I've ever heard. The black belt in martial arts does not necessarily indicate mastery. It just shows competency of some basic techniques. I have black belt in karate, and I'm definitely not a master, for crying out loud. There is a general superstition that lightning never strikes the same place twice. There is absolutely no reason why that would be true. On the contrary, tall and conductive objects are more likely to be struck multiple times. The Empire State Building in New York City gets struck about 100 times per year. Speaking of the Empire State Building, a penny dropped from it will not kill a person on the ground. Its terminal velocity is simply not enough. Even if it was, a penny dropped from the Empire State Building will not reach the ground due to the building's shape. It's something like this. When an event with equally probable outcomes comes out the same way multiple times in a row, the other outcomes are not more likely next time. If you flip a coin and get heads every time, there's no reason why you should get tails the next. It's still a 50-50 chance. Heads. The coin has no memory. And finally, and this one's very important, you usually don't have to wait 24 hours before filing a missing persons report. If the person's absence is unusual, the investigation must begin ASAP. That's all I've got for today. Hopefully you have corrected some of the things you know. Thank you very much for watching. See you next week. This is George Filip, signing off.